Oh, so let me just get you guys all right. So the city of Yuma is over there with the smoke on the horizon. The fields here are part of the Quitson Reservation. The canal here is the All-American Canal, constructed in the 1930s. And from here you could really get a sense of the massive scale of this canal. You see this freeway back there with cars for scale. There's these massive, that hill there and the hill I'm standing on are both massive piles of dirt, you know, were lifted up when excavating the canal here. And you can see that they tower above the surrounding landscape. And this is the largest capacity irrigation canal in the world. The capacity is something like 400 cubic meters per second, something like that. And it's 82 miles long. And now the earthworks aren't quite as impressive for the entire 82 miles, but it's still a big deal. It's also a big deal because it's a very dangerous body of water. It's swift moving. You can see down there in the reflection that the water moves. That doesn't look fast from here because it's far away and it's actually a lot wider than it looks. You know, those are giant reed Arundodonax. Those things are often grow to be well, they can grow to be as much as 10 meters tall. I don't think those ones look quite that high, but it's I don't know, it's a good 40 meters across that canal, I think. There have been over 500 drownings in the All-American Canal, and partly of that is because as the canal flows this way, it parallels the US-Mexican border, and unfortunately a lot of migrants who may or may not even know how to swim try and cross it, and it would be a pretty challenging and dangerous river to cross if you did know how to swim, and it's a death sentence if you don't. Not only at this site near Yuma do we have the second transcontinental railroad, which you can see down there crossing the river, that's where we were earlier. But we also have the first overland mail carrying route, the Butterfield stage route. In some ways, one of the earliest roads that went transcontinentally across the United States. And so there's a little structure down there, which was actually one of the stations along the stage route, Eraz Station. And so the stage route would have come across, basically paralleling the Interstate 8, and then it would have come across, obviously the canal wasn't here at that time, because the canal wasn't built until the 30s, and then it would have headed up this canyon over here. From the satellite image, I thought I could see one or two spots where I could maybe see faint remnants of old wagon ruts in the hillsides, but I don't think you can really see any of that from here. And then the route would have then continued to the left side of those mountains. All the way to Los Angeles, basically. Okay, well, I just need to keep going along the canal. Again, eventually I'm heading into those mountains, the Chocolate Mountains, off on the horizon. So still a long way to go today. Or you really just have to get to the edge of the mountains today, but that's the goal.